All right, and the next video we're going to watch is a Grumpy Eye video. I haven't watched one in a while, and it's his predictions for 2023. I have not made my predictions yet for 2023. I don't think I'm going to just yet, but I am interested in what Grumpy's are. Let's see what he has to say. Let me lower the volume a little bit because the last video we watched was quite low.
Hello and welcome to the last episode of this year's Grumpy's Rehab Facility
that looks like good volume
series that I'm running here on a weekly basis. Today we're going to be talking about, we're going to sum up 2022 and we're going to be talking about
the 2023 as well,
and what to expect from Star Citizen in the next year. So let me roll the intro and let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Grumpy.
All right, I wanted to say this first because it means a lot to me.
Before he jumps in, I don't think I'm going to make my predictions for 2023. I'm going to make my demands. Not my demands, but like what I would really want to see be a priority. But I think it's going to be hard to make predictions for next year, given how difficult it was this year. And yeah. I'm going to make a reasonable request.
And you can skip through it.
But not a
I don't
troll
care,
one.
But I just wanted to say this. So this year, at the start of this year, I had 1,000 subscribers. Now we are almost at 7,000 subscribers.
Yo,
I have a bunch of
nice.
patrons shown here. And I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for everyone that supported me through Patreon or through YouTube with Super Chat and all of that. Without you, this will be pointless because like the YouTube revenue is terrible. And that's how it is. It's not really good unless you have a ton of subscribers and a ton of views on a daily basis. So I don't have that. So yeah, on top of that, I have made the merch store this year, and you can buy that merch because it's amazing. You should at least just check it out because all of the designs and the prints are done by me, myself. I did it alone, and yeah, it has been a huge year for this channel and for me, and I'm thankful and I'm so grateful, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But now we can continue and we can talk about Star Citizen. All right, so first let's start off with the year in review. This year, or in 2022, we got a patch. Now we can continue and we can talk about the next year and what to expect from the next year. But bear in mind that this is all just me speculating after studying the progress tracker for a longer time. And one can say that I have some experience with Star Citizen and how CAG works, and I'll try to cut through all the bullshit on the progress tracker and all the things that they say but they will not deliver in the next year. So first of all, let's talk about the ships and what ships are in store for us in the next year. We already know that CAG has put a pin in the ban of merchantmen, so you shouldn't really expect it to be released in 2023. But the ship that is almost finished and is going to get released probably in the first quarter of 2023 is the Misk Hull C from the Hull series.
Really?
And it will be a great
This one's weird. This ship has been done for years. I don't know.
addition to the game, especially with the cargo refactor that we're getting in 3.18. Next ship that will probably get released and that will get the first iteration of the ship tractor beams is the Argo.
Just the whole sea has been so weird, right? Like, it's been done so many times, and then it's not done, and then it is done, and then there were, you know, and it's just like, is it ever going to happen, right?
SRV. And honestly, I can't wait to see how the ship's tractor beams work.
This is my
After
most
that, we should see tractor beams.
This is my most anticipated in 2023 for right now, because it's a big important feature that it comes with.
Other ships that should have them, like the Constellation Taurus, the Cuddy Black, or the Caterpillar. Hopefully, CG will make it possible to grab multiple SU boxes with a single tractor beam, but I guess we'll...
Or make larger boxes and only the ship tractor beams able to move them, maybe? But that would be weird, too, because then how do you snap them to the grid?
See what the future holds for us.
Right.
The Crusader Spirit series is currently in the progress tracker, but I don't see the E1 being released until we get the passenger transport missions. CAG will...
Again, the weird thing about progress tracker is it could be on the progress tracker, but it might not ever make it towards finishing.
Probably
we'll
release the C1 and then the A1 and then probably postpone the E1 until it gets its game loop. A lot of people saw the Polaris on the progress tracker and got really excited about it, but they started celebrating too early because that's just the vehicle concept art team working on it, which means that it won't get released.
And if he stated it's just a vehicle art team, then there must be more than that working on the A1, C1
anytime
ships.
soon.
So
Aopoa Santo Kai, or however you pronounce that, is currently on the progress tracker, and I don't see a reason for them not finishing it and not releasing it to the public. I believe that we will see this fighter in the game next year. And
ooh, I see a small reason. It'll probably happen. This ship will come when the new flight model changes, because I don't think they're going to work on anything related to this. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, it probably just happens.
It will absolutely dominate the medium fighter range because of its maneuverability. And in the end, we have the Origin X1 hoverbike and the RSI Lynx rover that will get released as LTI tokens during the next year. Now, there is going to be a bunch of unannounced vehicles that are going to be released out of the blue in 2023, and at least a few concept vehicles. Vehicle concept art teams are currently working on 4 vehicles, out of which 2 seem to be medium-sized vehicles, and then we have a capital ship-sized vehicle and a small-sized vehicle. So we could expect a bunch of concepts being sold during the Invictus week. On the other hand, the vehicle content teams are currently working on 2 small unannounced vehicles. They could be just vehicle variants. I don't
so many vehicles. So many vehicles.
know at this point, but you can expect them to be released at some point during 2023. Now let's talk about the biggest features that we are or are not going to get in 2023. And of course,
Grumpy, we're gonna get server meshing, right? Right?
The first one is going to be server meshing, and since I don't have anything to show you here, like except the CitizenCon like graphs and all that, like I'm not going to show you anything. But I don't see server meshing happening in 2023 solely because it took him a year just to release 3.18 with PES, and we don't even know if they worked on server meshing during this year and if it's any like close to being released. So therefore, I would say that 4.0 is not going to happen.
But Grumpy, we were on the road to Pyro.
Maybe if we are optimistic, maybe it is going to happen around CitizenCon 2023. But honestly, if you want to be realistic, I don't see it happening until 2024. Now, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, even though you know my standpoint on them delaying server meshing for years and years now. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years. But like if we waited this long,
I think the difference now about the delay, especially with PES making it into the game, and like, you know, we just watched a video showing it exists and works, is that it's like they're actively working on it and not just saying it's going to happen on a certain day, time. Like that's the difference for me, is if they're actively working on it and suffering and not doing, you know, not finishing it quickly, but, you know, heads down on these things, it's a lot easier for me to deal with personally. It's still not a good situation, right? Like I largely agree with Grumpy that if we do get it, it's probably towards the end of the year. But it makes it easier for me to deal with when I know that they're working on it, right? And I do believe them when they say that a lot of the work towards server meshing is the work being done on PES. So for me, that's them working on it, and it makes it a little bit easier for me in that sense. But it doesn't mean that next year's not going to be brutal, right? It might be pretty tough.
Long, we can like wait another year, I guess. But without server meshing, we're not going to get Pyro. So that is probably going to happen in 2024. Now, if you...
That's not entirely true. I can see a scenario where you choose Pyro, but it's not like we can like trade between them or something. But again, I also don't see a scenario where CIG is willing to make that compromise. But
I want to be optimistic. As I've said, maybe we're gonna get it during CitizenCon 2023, but not before that, not at the start of 2023 like it was said in the letter of the chairman. But that's not all that bad.
There's no
because
point in doing it
is
that
not
way.
even close to being finished either. And in 3.17.2 and 3.18, CAG showed us how much we were really missing in Stanton with the addition of the derelict spaceships and the abandoned outposts. So you could expect a ton of them being added throughout Stanton in 2023, but those are not the only points of interest that we will be getting. We know for a fact that they're currently working on the Lorville Cityscape rework, so you can expect Lorville to grow in the next year, which would in the end give us more of the Blade Runner vibes.
I wonder if he thinks
that
we're going to get
getting
bunkers,
whenever we
the
go
big
there.
ones from
But
sitcom.
I don't see the interior growing at all. I believe that they're only working on the exterior. But the main thing that we should get as Tier 0 minimal viable product is the new underground facilities, or should I say UGF bunkers. They already teased us with
They're
these
big.
during CitizenCon and in some of the IC videos. But those
Like, if they do come, they're not going to come with, like, amazing, badass missions, right? Like,
should bring
no
a
way.
huge update to the bunker missions, because they should have more than 150 rooms in them, which would offer us much needed variety when it comes to gameplay. The first iteration would probably be a lot smaller and have fewer rooms, so manage your expectations. But hey, I'm all for having some variety in this game, because all of the moons and the planets just feel like barren wastelands which desperately need to be filled up with different points of interest just to bring some life to it. Because currently, yes,
Yeah, but for me, what brings life is reasons to go to those places, and like an economy that ties it together, that includes like crafting and owning our own stuff. Like I'm way out past 2023 when I'm saying that, but I could deal with what we have now if it was more tied together and integrated in to player interaction, I guess.
they have a lot of potential, but they also feel so empty. And on that topic, we're probably going to get a bunch of caves and roads and rivers and all of that.
Roads, you think?
With
Interesting.
all of that and the points of interest that we're going to get in Stanton, I feel that Stanton is going to become more alive in the next year. CAG has started talking about
Just depends on what he means by alive. Like, there'll be more locations, probably. There'll be more NPCs on the ground, probably. But again, how are they going to feel? Are they going to feel broken and not alive? I don't think that's going to change next year. Is there going to be an economy next year that makes it feel immersive and alive? I don't think so. So it's like, yeah, his definition of alive might be different than mine.
bringing alien life to the game, and do not get overly excited because they were only talking about the fauna, so you won't be seeing any Banu or Vandul around Stanton just yet. But again, don't get overly excited about the fauna either, because the leaks show that they are working on spiders and bugs that should populate the caves. Bugs in Star Citizen? You don't say. What will you be able to do with these is currently unknown, but my thoughts are that you will be able to kill, collect, and sell them. In 3.18 we will get the Tier 0 implementation of the salvage mechanics, or should I say the hull stripping.
Hell
and you
yeah,
can
the
see on the progress
trawler.
tracker that CAG is currently working on hull munching mechanics, but I don't see them released to the game anytime soon. I would love the Reclaimer to get all of its features, but knowing CAG, they will delay this feature indefinitely. So my guess is that hull munching is not happening in 2023.
I don't know about that. This is one that I think might happen. That team seems to be really good. But I also kind of agree, because it needs tech, right? Doesn't it need like ship deformation tech and like these other things? Like, I don't know. The team that worked on salvage, that worked on mining, that did refueling, I think is really, really solid and has done some really good work. But if they need other people to do work to make it happen, maybe not. Yeah.
Now, in the past 4 years, a lot has been said about the rework of the flight mechanics in Star Citizen, or the introduction
No
of
munching
different
for me
flight
this year,
modes
but
to
I'm
ships.
hungry.
But honestly, I don't see it happening in 2023 either, because they
This has to happen in 2023. This has to happen. This is one where he might be right, but this has to happen. We cannot go an entire year with the flight model that we have without master modes, all this conversation around it. It has to come in some way, shape, or form. It has to. This is one like non-negotiable for me next year.
We will need to balance all the ships out and bring them all up to the new flight standard, which is not gonna happen in a year. Speaking of ship reworks, CAG has already brought the Gladius and the Saber up to the gold standard. The Retaliator was supposed to be the next one, but it just didn't happen. I know for a fact that without the Retaliator rework, we are not going to get modularity. So hopefully in the next year, they will focus more on the modularity and the rework of the Retaliator. Purely because we have so many modular ships that just don't work, and we will have much more gameplay opportunities if we had that feature in the game.
Agreed.
But honestly, I don't see it happening in the next year, maybe 2024. They also need to completely rework the Starfarer, the 600i, etc, etc. So I don't see it happening anytime soon, because like before...
It's not etc, etc, it is etc, etc, etc. It is literally every ship in the game, except for the Gladius. The Gladius.
The reworks and before the modularity, you will need the resource management system. Speaking of the resource management system, or the feature that will let us interact more with our ships, where we will be able to, for example, tweak the life support or the artificial gravity.
But the thing about it is this one is going to be the resource management, but it's not going to be... It's gonna be just like everything else, where they sell us on what it's going to be. Like, oh, power, energy, life support, item maintenance, this, that, the other thing. It's going to come in on not all ships, and it's going to be like one fucking piece of it when it happens.
On our ships, or manage the power and interact with the components in our ships. I do see it happening in 2023, but only on some ships. We know that CAG wants the Hammerhead to be the first ship that gets the resource management system, but maybe we will get it too on some newer ships like the Hull series, the Cutter, or the Corsair, for example. But I don't see it fully implemented on all of the ships, especially not on the older ones.
But any ship that does release this year needs to come with it, or is prepped for it. If it's not, like, what are they doing?
How this will impact the game is currently unknown, but I don't think that CAG wants to make the Hammerhead owners depressed by adding this feature to the game and making the ship itself useless against other ships and vehicles that don't have this system. One major thing that I see happening in the next year will be the new star map, the radar system, and the MFD rework. Solely because you can see that they're working on it, and it shouldn't take them too long to bring that whole system into
They've been working on it all year.
The building blocks, and maybe then that whole system is not going to be that janky like it is right now. But a feature that I touched upon in this video already that I see happening in 2023 is the vehicle tractor beams. Yes. But I don't see it happening for all the ships. I believe that we're going to see the first iteration of the vehicle tractor beams with the SRV, and then maybe they will add them to all the ships that should have them already, such as the Cutlass, the Hull series, the Caterpillar, or the Taurus. And I believe that only then they will give us a way to equip the tractor beams to all the other ships on the weapon mounting points. A cool new feature that I also do see happening in 2023 is the EVA Tier 2 mechanics, and hopefully these will make the game more...
I don't think just EVA, I think the mounting, the ladder, all that stuff that we saw. Maybe even the player-based radar stuff that we saw.
More fun to play when you're floating outside your ship. With that, and with the new soft depth mechanics that they already introduced in 3.18, I do see them introducing the Bounty Hunter version 2 feature, which will make us leave our ships more often because we will have to apprehend the criminals after destroying their ships. But for
that one is a... That one is a challenge. I'm surprised he believes that. Bounty Hunter V2 seems like a huge challenge to me. Because maybe that's why they're doing investigative missions first. Because, like, isn't Bounty Hunter V2 where, like, it sort of leaves clues? in a way. I don't know, man.
For that, CAG will need to introduce the nav mesh to ships. So
I'm sitting here going, I don't know if anything's happening next year, so who
the NPCs could walk around them freely. If not, I guess that we will have to wait for Bounty Hunting version 3 then. Now you can see on the progress tracker that the actor status tier 2 is currently being developed, which would introduce hygiene, medical insurance, and cybernetic limbs to the game. But I don't see it happening in the game anytime soon. I mean,
it's probably a squadron feature, so maybe.
hopefully. I mean, please. No, please no poop. No poop during fights, please. Please, CAG. Now, the thing that I do see happening in 2023 is return of the persistent personal hangars, because CAG has stated that the only thing that's delaying the personal hangars is the absence of the cargo elevators. But we know that they're working on them, and that's why I believe that we will get them in the game pretty soon. Aerodynamic control surfaces feature, which will make
Persistent hangars. PES is persistent. Will our hangars be persistent? How will we call them? The networking of it, all this stuff. How do they move? How do they come in and out? I want to believe on that one. That's one of the ones like I kind of have to believe. What's the difference again between persistent and personal hangars? I don't think we're going to get personal hangars. But I want to believe.
Make your small fighters fly better in the atmosphere could make its appearance in 2023, but without the rework of the whole flight system and the different flight modes, I don't see it having that much of an impact to the game, so I don't see
them doing
why
that until
they
after.
would release that feature next year. We will be also getting more different ship weapons and ammo types added to the game, such as the incendiary rounds or the flak ammunition. And I believe that the changes to ballistic penetration in 2018 is just a test bed for the major balance changes that will happen in ship-to-ship combat next year. Also, since I don't believe that we will be getting pyro and server meshing in 2023, and I think that CAG will still keep their focus on Stanton, I believe that they will start rolling out the long-awaited asteroid facilities, which would in the end bring us more variety to the game itself.
That would be really cool too. So just like, bunker missions, but in these little asteroid facilities speckled around the game, that'd be sick.
But that's a hard maybe. Don't get your hopes up. And in the end,
I actually think I think that one's definitely coming, because the teams that do locations typically fire things out fairly simply, because the thing is the teams do locations. The teams who tie content to those locations don't do anything other than make bunker type missions that we've had forever. So I think they'll be able to put them out. They won't be interesting though, and they won't be exciting, and they won't necessarily be this brand new experience. They would be a very similar experience in a brand new place, which is why I think that those are highly likely that we'll get. Yeah, it'll just be spawn closets, box missions, loot, NPCs. That's it.
Certainly not the least, we have the most anticipated features that we have been waiting on forever now. And those
what meme is
would
this?
be, of course, the swimming tier 0 and the charge and drain mechanics for our multi-tools.
Yes,
because they are so important right now.
So important right now. Hey! What are you doing? What? Like, everyone has their opinions, and it's fine, but what? Is he high? This guy. Is this dude high?
Now, my predictions last year were basically
What's that about?
point. I predicted that 2022 will be a bad year for Star Citizen. I predicted that we will not get server meshing in 2022, and that they will be coming out with more and more expensive concept ships, and that the delays will make us feel butthurt a lot, and that CAG will be even more out of touch with the community. And to sum it all up, out of 20 predictions, I got 2 wrong. And those 2 were the weapon weapon wear and tear and the drain mechanics that I just mentioned. They are still on the progress tracker and they are still irrelevant to the gameplay experience. And I left them in for the lulz and the raffles.
I think he got a bunch wrong this time, but I'm always wrong. So...
and the lemals. It's sarcasm. You should try it. Anyway, I want to thank my supporters on Patreon and YouTube for supporting me. Like, they're fucking awesome. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for supporting me throughout the whole year. Without you, this content creation thing wouldn't really work, because there are a lot of monthly expenses just for the channel to grow and to keep running, and then like the house and the food and all of that. But if you want to support me, the Patreon link is down in the description of the video. There's a super chat here. There's a join button down there somewhere on YouTube, and also there's merch, and as I've said, merch amazing. People told me that it's top-notch quality. Still haven't got it. It's been almost a month now, like 3 weeks or a month, and I'm still waiting on my merch to arrive so I can check it out myself. I was the first one to order it, but
and
no,
everybody
whatever.
else
But
got
check
it
out the
before.
merch store.
That's
You
funny.
might find something that you like, and you can get something in return for supporting me. Also, I want to thank the community that's like sharing my videos, watching my videos. We just hit, like a month ago, we hit 1 million views, which is amazing.
Nice.
And I'm just so grateful for this amazing year, and I can just hope that the next one is going to be as good as this one was. But yeah, thank you for sharing my videos. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you to my Discord community that's just like funny as hell. And if you wanna become a member of the Discord, there's a link down in the description. Everybody is welcome, and yeah, just hop in the Discord and say hello. I'm there. I'm not like the other guys that's like a huge deal and doesn't mingle with the plebs. No, I'm there. Like, I'm talking to you guys all the time. So also, thank you to all my fellow content creators for supporting me and for making this channel grow, because yeah, like SaltEMike and Space Tomato and a bunch of you guys helped me out to like grow the channel from 1,000 subs to 7,000 subs, and it's been a hell of a year.
Nah, man, you did it all yourself. We didn't help you. You did it.
But it was really fun. So again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to bring a shower. Again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space, because you might need it. Because Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and mwah, and bye. And also, I'm gonna like play my song from a couple of days ago that I posted that nobody saw, because I did it on Christmas, and I guess nobody was active on Christmas and nobody saw the fucking video.
No videos
so I'm
did
gonna
well
play
on
it
Christmas.
now, and ciao, and see ya in the new year.
This was a good one.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but a fire is so delightful. And since we have no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow.
VoIP is so bad still. He is a very good singer.
When we finally kiss goodnight, how are they going out in the storm?
He makes weird faces while he sings, though. You see it?
Oh, the way home I'll be warm, and the fire is slowly dying. And my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
VoIP was a 2015, no, 2017 feature.
But that fire is delightful. And since we have no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And the fire is slowly dying.
I was wondering what was in the rest of the video, because he was ending it so early.
Let it snow, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Mwah.
Cool. Nice, Grumpy. Thank you. That was a really good video. Really well researched as well, with all the progress tracker, looking at all that, which I wish the progress tracker was indicative of progress, but it is are just making educated guesses. And yeah, I think a lot of the things is probably going to be right on, but I'm just sitting here going like, I just don't know. I don't know what next year's going to look like. I just know what I want it to look like. I know the things that I want. And I'll probably save that and post that on my main channel or something, is do a more like thought out, maybe like more scripted video of really sit down and think about what I want to see next year look like. But we all know that what I want is probably never going to happen. So, but thank you for that, Grumpy. It was really good.